Hi everyone, I'm Jacqueline Cohen.
Hey, I'm Mark Blazier.
Welcome. We are the co-founders of Safe Training Strategy, and we have decided that we want to share what's most important to us through podcast. So welcome, this is our first podcast. We're very proud to be here, and we want to tell you our story.
Yes, so welcome again to the session, right? So that's what we call it. So, we're going to talk about just pretty much everything that's health and fitness related. Yes, so we'll talk about nutrition, we'll talk about exercising, we'll talk about mental health, we'll talk about
chronic
illnesses, we'll talk about
how your relationships impact how you feel about yourself. Sometimes when we're in bad relationships, we put on weight. We have more anxiety, we don't sleep well. We want to tackle topics that people don't like to talk about. They are uncomfortable, but we like to laugh, so we're gonna get real, but we'll also be a little silly.
Yeah, so you're gonna get all of that. So to begin with, right, let's talk about exercising.
Okay.
So when we talk about exercising, how do you feel about, I know you exercise all the time, I do too, but a lot of people don't get to do it often, right?
Right.
Why do you think that is?
So my personal relationship to exercise goes back to when I was very young.
Okay.
And I've always been athletic. And I find that the people that weren't really raised doing a sport or working out with their family or friends, it's harder as they get older to find something, a practice. So what I tell my friends and clients that don't have a workout that they love is to just start with something 5 minutes. And they don't believe me, but I say, get outside, walk 5 minutes.
Right.
They feel different.
Yes.
Or today, wake up and do 2 push-ups, do some planks, try it, see how your body feels. And people get hooked when they feel a change in their body, they have more energy. Do you think so?
I do. I mean, for me, my background is a little bit different from yours. I mean, I grew up in Haiti, right? And exercising is not really a thing that we do, because we walk everywhere, we run, we play soccer. Like, that's our sports, right? I mean, that's how we stay healthy and fit. But when I came here, it's just like, okay, well, it's either especially if you're in a big city, right? Like, there's no going downstairs and play soccer, right? It's not a thing that we do.
Right.
There's no, going to the yard and play with your friends. You know what I mean? So I had to, even though I was always into fitness, I was always into, just like, I was always intrigued with exercising. So I really got into it. I started, working out when I was like 15. Just because I really enjoyed being active. You know what I mean? Like, I used to play soccer, I played football.
Was it an organized sport or more of a pickup?
No, well, just like, you get together with a few guys and, let's kick some ball, right?
Yes.
Let's play, let's go play soccer. That's it. That was just the thing to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So being active and staying active was always part of, my life. So again, coming here, I had to, really get more organized when it comes to, lifting weights, just do like fitness training, right? When it comes to exercising, weightlifting, or a yoga class, or be intentional, going for a run, you know what I mean? So like, those are the things that I had to kind of change my mindset into doing, because I really valued my health. I valued feeling good. You know what I'm saying? So that's my view when it comes to, fitness and staying active.
I think also mentally, I remember being in college and everyone was drinking a lot, partying a lot, and I was on the crew team. And what was great for me is everyone would be out and I'd look at my watch and I knew I had to be up at 5 a.m. to row. But I have to tell you, I had so much more clarity. I got to class on time. Even though a huge part of my life was my sport, my organized sport, I found I had time for so many other things.
Absolutely, yeah.
People that don't work out, that aren't eating well and taking care of themselves, there's never enough time for anything.
Yeah, because I think also having that sense of, feeling organized, right? You have, it's like, when you have this, you have to be prepared for it. You have to be in tip-top shape for it. So you can't really, just do anything just for the sake of doing it, right? So you take everything as it's almost like everything has a purpose, right? It's like you have to do this. Well, how is that gonna impact what I'm doing with my life? What I have to do tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like if I don't sleep tonight, how am I gonna feel the next day? You know, if I have a game, if I have practice.
Yeah.
So all those things are more like, helping you to kind of shape, your life in a way personally and, healthily, right? So all those things come together and, make sure you live your life in a way that's more organized.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I think I actually, through athleticism, sports, I learned the value of not letting my team down.
Right, yes.
And it has definitely transferred over into my professional life.
Absolutely.
I don't want to let my clients down, my
Right,
family
right,
down.
yes.
The healthier I am, the stronger I am. I show up.
Yep,
I show up more.
yep,
The one thing I love about working with you,
Right.
especially when we work out together, is regardless of the stress you have in your life,
Right.
regardless of the pressure of 10 more clients that day,
Right.
you show up with such positivity
Absolutely.
and such grace
Yeah.
and humor. And I know that that's why your clients keep coming back to you.
Right, yes.
So that again transfers over to your client and you start that day and you feel like,
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, think about it, especially when it comes to clients. Like I've been doing training for, a little over 15 years. And when somebody comes to you, they want to change their lives, right? They want to, improve their health, their strength, their stamina, whatever it is that they want
Yes.
to do. Or they just want to, feel, healthier. So you have to give that to them. You can't let, let's say, you're having a bad day. I'm not saying they don't want to hear it, but you can't let your bad day affect their day. You know what I'm saying? So you
yes.
have, so because of that, you kind of, I kind of have to, understand how I behave, mentally, psychologically, physically, how is it gonna affect my clients? So I have to, carry myself in a way, if I have something that, that bothers me, like I have to take care of it before I get to a session. Otherwise it's gonna show.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so you can try to fake it, but it will show. You
It
know what
always
I mean?
shows.
It always shows, which is
Yes.
why I always make time for myself to exercise. Like for me, exercising is my therapy. Like I need it. You know what I mean? Like if I go 2 days, I don't work out, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm losing it. Like I just have to do, because for me that's my, that's my way of refocusing my mind. You know what I mean? Like to get back to center. That's for me.
one of my clients who I think he's in his early 50s, he's a finance guy,
Right.
he invests. And one of his biggest complaints when we started working together is he said, I can't commit to a workout.
Right,
I can't
right.
commit to a trainer, a
Right,
coach,
right.
even a class.
Right.
And I said, why not? He said, I don't know how I'm going to feel when I wake up in the morning.
Okay.
And I said, okay. He said, I work really hard and I come
Right.
home and I want to have wine and eat my dinner and watch TV all night.
Yeah.
So I said, what if I told you that you and I are going to do a plan for 21 days
Right.
and you are going to stop drinking during the week,
Right.
you can have the treat on the weekend, and your practice is you're going to do something every morning before you go to work.
Right.
He said, I'll never stick to it. I said, all right, let's just start day by day, and
Yeah.
when you fall off, you fall off.
Right.
He did it. He was able to maintain
Right.
that commitment
Yeah,
for 21
yeah, yeah.
days. He said it's changed his life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he somehow got his wife to join in on it, which
Okay,
I think also
okay.
helped their relationship
Right.
a great deal.
Yes.
And what I think you all worry about is that you have to do this every day.
Right,
You don't
right.
have to work out every day. What you do have to commit to is saying, nutritionally, I'm going to take care of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make sure that I fuel my body in such a way that even if I don't work out that day, I'm going to be walking, cleaning my house,
Right.
getting the car.
Right.
You're going to come from a place of strength. And Mark and I believe wholeheartedly that the number one strategy to staying healthy is what you're putting in your body.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
And my mom said it my whole life, you are what you eat,
You
and it
are
is
what
so
you
true.
eat. Yes. No, I mean, listen, if again, I'm going to bring it back to me. When I eat bad, I feel horrible.
Yeah.
And I also have clients, when they eat bad, they come in, I mean, they, especially if they drink, they'll come in that morning and, it's like they're dying. And I know what they can do,
I know.
right? So even if they don't tell me, I had a long night, I had a fun night, I can tell, right? So basically what you put in your body affects your health,
Yes.
right? So you have to eat healthy. You have to commit to, putting the right stuff in your body. Otherwise you will feel it. You will see it, right? It's gonna affect you big time. You know what I mean?
I've actually met over the past couple years many nutritionists,
Right.
some nutritionists that specialize in chronic illness,
Right.
some nutritionists that help people that just are dealing with allergies that
Yeah.
have really affected their life.
Right.
And the one thing they all have in common is they say no one is the same. So you
Right.
have to sit down and it's trial and error.
Right.
And the people that actually find success with nutritionists, they set their schedule. They say, this is what I'm
Yes.
going to have for breakfast.
Right.
This is what I'm going to have for dinner. But they lay it out for themselves.
Right.
How do you feel, because this is a big fad right now, how do you feel about intermittent fasting?
It's not for everyone. You know, here's the thing, it's not always, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Right? Like you said, you have to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? If your schedule allows you to eat, have your first meal at noon, if it works for you, that's great. But the thing about intermittent fasting, if you just like everything else, if you're not consistent, you're messing up your metabolism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have to be consistent with it. And what I always tell, and the thing I don't get with diets, right? This specific diet. All my clients, it doesn't matter how old you are, right? If you follow these three things, selection, portion, and timing, right? You're consistent with those, you're gonna see results, right? You have to, when it comes to portion, you have to control your portion, right? If you wake up, every day, you go to work, you sit at a chair, on a chair, right, at your desk, you may not need as much calories as somebody who, walk around all day, right? For work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very active. I'm always
You walk
around.
everywhere.
Right. I'm training clients, I'm standing, I'm walking around. Some clients I work out with them. So I need more. You know what I mean? But if you don't, then you have to be mindful of that. Again, selection. Again, a lot of the things that we eat, it's not that the food is bad. They say, boy, don't eat starch. It's not that the starch is bad. It's what they put in it. Your body can't digest it. You can't process it. So that becomes bad. Again, portion, right? You have to be mindful of your portion, that timing. So so think about it. If you don't have that consistency, right? Especially for your body, the way it works, you have to be able to maintain your metabolism. You have to be able to say, you know what, if I have breakfast at this time, I should be able to have lunch at this time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't say, well, I'm gonna have breakfast and then I'm skipping lunch today and have dinner. And then the following day you do something different. That's gonna mess up your metabolism, right?
So the consistency.
It's all about that consistency, the portion, and the selection. If you're mindful of those three things, trust me. Like all my clients, most of them, the ones who are, concentrated on doing this, right? And I always tell them, pick three things, right, that you can eat for the next month or so. Focus on those things, right? Just make sure you're not gonna get tired of it. But if you're trying to lose weight, don't make it complicated. Keep it simple.
It's so true.
Right? Just keep it simple. Listen, you eat to live. You don't live to eat.
That's right.
A lot of people don't really understand, or they don't want to accept that, because you have a lot of foodies and a lot of, people who love their food. But I mean, you eat to live, right? It's not a sport, right? It's not a social thing that you do.
But in New York City, it seems to be.
Right, but it's
Maybe a major
it's a business,
It's a
right?
business.
It's a business. I mean, they make the food. It has to taste good. It has to, have all these ingredients in it, so it tastes good. But the more you have in it, the more calories you're consuming, right? The more fat that's in it, and the more sugar that's in it. So you have to be mindful of those things. You know what I mean? So just again, portion, selection, and timing. Focus on those three things, and trust me, it works. I've seen it, for my clients over the past 15 years. It's been working.
And the great thing about Mark is that he customizes all his training packages with his clients to you and what you need. For instance, I met this gastroenterologist. He's a specialist at Weill Cornell, and he works grueling hours. He's always on his feet. And I asked him, wow, you're in such great shape. He said, well, I ride to work every day.
Nice.
He lives 2 miles from the hospital.
Nice.
But the other thing is, he wakes up, he'll have 1 cup of coffee, a lot of water,
Right.
and he doesn't eat until he's home. So I said, how do you do that? How do you see all these patients all day? You're in surgery.
Right.
He said, I would rather He says it's the old adage about a dog. You'd rather have a hungry dog next to you when you're out in the wilderness than a well-fed fat dog.
Get lazy.
And he said his brain is always clear.
Right.
And I thought to myself, intermittent fasting, like we said, is not for everyone.
Right.
However, we live in a country where obesity is on the rise.
Yes,
every year.
We're overfed, we're over-medicated, we're over everything. Really, everything, really. Because it's so in your face, right? Everything is, you click a button on the internet, it's right there, right? You walk down the street, there's a restaurant right there, right? I mean, you go to the supermarket, there's a bag of Cheetos, like everything.
Oral fixation.
Right.
Constantly
over the
needing.
counters, you have so many different medications. It's just like so much options, right? So much to choose from. And it's hard to say no, right? It's hard for a lot of people to say, you know what, I'm not gonna eat this, right? I'm not gonna drink this sugar because
I know what it'll do to me.
Right. But you get so used to it. It's right here. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm not gonna do it because you don't have that willpower, or because it's been promoted so much. You feel like, you know what, if it's here, I have to have it. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, a lot of people can't really, I don't want to say control themselves, but just having that willpower to say, you know what, I'm not gonna have this. I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna do this. You know what I mean?
And it's not easy.
It's
I know.
It's not.
I'm in good shape and
Right.
I eat well, but if someone's bringing out some kind of chocolate mousse thing, I see that and I'm like, I love it. I want to eat the whole thing because my brain just registers,
It's
Jackie,
so good.
that's so good.
It's so good.
So
I know.
delicious.
I know.
But my brain also tells me now, do not include sugar in your daily living because I do crash, and it messes with my blood sugars.
But can I say something?
Yeah.
Again, growing up in Haiti, right? We eat sugar. It's not really the sugar that's the
sugar?
problem. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the sugar that's the problem. It's the fake sugar that's the problem.
Yes.
Your body can't digest
All these
that.
artificial sweeteners.
Right. I mean, all these things they say, well, this is a substitute, right? Have a diet soda. Well, you have aspartame in it, right?
Right.
But they'll tell you there's no sugar. You know what I'm saying? So a
Yes.
lot of people don't really think about those things. Like I have one client, loves soda, right? Diet soda. He's like, but there's no sugar in it. Why is it sweet? I never thought about that. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't think about those things, but it's
Those sweeteners
just,
are worse for us, right?
right, because your body can't really process those. You know what I mean? So those things, they make you gain weight. But they're not gonna tell you that because again, it's a business. You know what I mean? But it's just like growing up in Haiti, like all the things that we used to eat, all the things we used to have that didn't really make you gain weight, they were natural. Without the preservatives.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So it's really the way they prepare the food. And again, a lot of us are not active. So we end up, eating a ton of stuff or eating the wrong stuff, and then we, sit around and not losing or using any calories.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Well, you and I are putting together various Fitscriptions, as we call it.
Yes.
A Fitscription can change daily, weekly, but the Fitscription is created for you and to get you on the fast track to your health. So one of the things that I remind myself every morning is when I wake up, this is my Fitscription. Regardless of what time it is, I turn off my alarm, I lay in bed, I breathe, I meditate, get out of bed, slowly move through my day, whether it's getting my water, whether it's sitting down and visualizing what my day is going to look like. That works for me. It may not work for you. And then the other thing is I always have to get my body going. Yoga, I love running, I love swimming, I love lifting weights. Do I do it every day? Absolutely not.
Right.
Do I cross train? Yes. Cross training for me works because I don't get injured. Before I started training with Mark, you remember this, I had major back issues. My lumbar vertebrae would just pop and I would be in terrible pain for days. Since I've been working out with Mark, I realized how I have to stretch, how I have to strengthen my core, and this is a big part of my weekly Fitscription. So your wake-up call for yourself is very important, I believe.
Yes.
The way you enter into your day is very important. Sometimes I just sit there, I close my eyes. What do I want to accomplish today? Who do I want to have in my world today? I don't want to bring in negativity, because when you bring in negativity,
it affects you.
it does.
Yeah.
It affects your body,
Right.
even the way you metabolize things. I know
Yes.
people, you can't believe that, but it's true. So this Fitscription is going to be a big part of what we're sharing with you over the next few weeks with our podcast. And I want you to start thinking about a Fitscription that you've always wanted to implement, but you never believed you could.
Right.
And we're going to make it a possibility for you.
Right.
Mark, what was your Fitscription? I loved what you said the other day.
So, should we tell them what Fitscription is?
Yes.
Right? So, Fitscription is pretty much a prescription, but that includes, your health being fit, right? Not a medication, but something that's health and fitness related. So mine was, 5 keys to living healthier and longer, right? So what I usually do, so one thing that's major for me, and I mean, I won't negotiate that, peace of mind.
Yes.
Right, you have to have peace. So, and that's basically finding healthy ways to deal with stress. You can't run away from stress,
No.
right? There's always gonna be something that stresses you out. There's always gonna be, you walk down the street, cabs are crazy, right? You're running into people. You're living in New York City, and you late for work, right? Traffic, all of that, right? So you have to find healthy ways to deal and cope with stress. And the next one was healthy, balanced nutrition.
Yeah.
Again, for both of us, I know the way you eat. You have to eat, food that builds your body up, right? You have to eat, the greens, right? The veggies. You have to eat, get the fruits, right? You avoid the processed food, because those are not real food,
No.
right? Those are not natural. You have to avoid them as much as you can. And then the following one was making, meaningful connection.
Yes.
We all need people, right? It doesn't matter how you slice it. We need to have, friends.
Support.
We need to have support. We need to, have, somebody that we can talk to, right? We need to have, just people we can rely on,
Yeah.
right? Having conversations like this, like it's healthy to have those type of, connections,
Right.
because that way you don't have to keep anything in your head, right? Again, if you're stressed out, find somebody to talk to, whether it's a therapist, whatever it is, a friend, right? A family member, whatever it is, but find somebody that you can let those things out, right?
Because once you're doing this, once you have a place where you can share and
Right.
get support, you're not feeding your feelings anymore.
Right,
And that's
right,
what
yes.
a lot of people do,
yes.
right?
No, it's true. Because the thing is, when you have those things in your head, right? Those are the things that you already tell yourself.
Yes.
Those are the things that you know. But if you're open to hear somebody else's perspective, that's gonna help you. Because a lot of things that we tell ourselves are not true, right?
So true.
They are not true, and we often believe them because, well, we call them intuition, right? We call them, maybe God is speaking to you. You know what I mean? So a lot of things we convince ourselves are real, the truth, but they're not. Those are just things that we use to cope, right? The things that we use to help ourselves move forward, so we don't give up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But a lot of those beliefs, a lot of those things that we're saying, they're actually destroying, our physical health, our mental health. So it's always good to have, different views and different perspectives.
And when you and I started talking about creating this, we had a lot of mindfulness in
Yes.
everything we did,
Yes.
workshops, the
Yes.
way we worked with people, and I
Yes.
still believe in mindfulness.
I do too.
But
I do.
I'd even go one step further than mindfulness. It's this confidence
Right.
in yourself that you can make the right decisions, that you can have integrity in your life.
Right.
And people say, well, why are you putting confidence and integrity in the same sentence as wellness? I said, because if you're really honest with yourself, really honest,
Right.
you will say, okay, Jackie, you've got to take care of yourself.
Yes.
It is probably one of the most important things you can do.
Absolutely.
Because do you want to be a 60-year-old that can barely walk
Right,
down Fifth
right,
Avenue?
right.
No, you want to be able to do whatever you want
Yes,
with your
yes,
life
yes.
and your world.
Right.
And I think this Fitscription is a great start, a great
Yes.
beginning.
Yes. And one thing, I think, people should take away from this. Your body will be as good to you as it is good to you as you are to it.
That's
right? If you don't treat your body well, I'm sorry, it's not going to treat you well as you get older.
Yeah. And that goes for other things.
Right.
When you overtrain, even you're hurting your body.
Right.
We talk about that.
Yes, I mean I've seen a lot of guys. I mean a lot of women too. I mean they overdo it, right? And it's crazy, especially now. You have the big booty thing. I see a lot of girls come in the gym like every day, literally every day, heavy squatting, heavy lunging, heavy deadlifting. I mean, the problem that they're gonna have long term, lower back issues, knee issues, right? But they're not thinking about that, right? Because they're so caught up in
the aesthetic.
Right? And then you have guys come in, well, they squatting to 400 pounds. I'm like, that's not healthy, but I can do it. Well, you can now. But 10 years from now, will you be able to squat even 100 pounds? Probably not. So you have to be mindful of how you're treating your body. Whether you feel like you're doing it good, you really have to think about what good is. You know what I mean? Like I've seen guys literally crumble and shatter their knees doing heavy. Yeah, I mean, it's not a laughable moment, but I've seen one guy literally just crumble with 400 pounds. And shattered both knees, right?
Wow.
And just to show off, you know what I mean? So it's really not about showing off. It's not about doing all these crazy things, Being exercising is about building your body up. It's not about destroying your body. If you're doing something that hurts, stop. That's one of my prescriptions, when it comes to exercising, especially if you're working with a trainer and you're doing something and they'll tell you, well, keep doing it. Don't. It shouldn't hurt.
And we are I think we're both in sync with this. Modifications,
absolutely.
The best. I don't care if you're 22 years old or 82 years old. Listen to your body. Because I have injured myself when I've listened to other trainers. I've injured myself when I've listened to my coach. Jackie, keep going.
No,
if you feel something's about to tear,
stop.
Or your back, you have to stop.
Stop.
And do things that feel right for you.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Look, I've been working out for over 20 years, and I'll tell you honestly, I've never gotten hurt.
There you go.
I've never gotten hurt. If I feel like something's about, a little achy, right? We all get those. I take a break. Do something else.
There you go.
Right? Don't push it. The whole thing about no pain, no gain, that's not a real thing. That's the old mentality about, pumping iron. With this segment, we have one called Form X, okay? So the Form X is where we pick one exercise every episode and we dissect it. We'll tell you what it's good for, what it's not good for, how to do it right, and how, not to do it wrong, okay? So today we're gonna choose squats. Yes?
Yes.
So our Form X exercise today is going to be squats. So if you have any questions, if you have any exercise you want to work on, you want to tell us, how to, tell you how to do it, hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or the website. They'll be at the bottom of the screen. You can tell us what you want us to work on, and that'll be our Form X for that day. But for today, we're going to do some squats, yes?
Great. We look forward to seeing you again next week. And so watch us do our little workout.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Hey guys, so this is Form X. Like we said, today we're gonna focus on squats, right? So we're gonna do a regular squat, and the proper way to do a squat, again, feet shoulder width apart, right? Make sure your feet are parallel with each other. So when you squat down, you don't let your knees go forward, okay? You keep your back straight, neutral, you keep your chest up, engage your core. So remember, you're working your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, okay? So you don't wanna overuse your knees. So to do the proper squat, you have to lead with, just like Jackie did, you lead with your glutes, okay? You don't wanna lead with your knees. So if you lead with your knees, you're gonna go like this. You always wanna push back, okay? Just to engage the glutes, quadriceps, that's it. And you don't have to go all the way down. I've seen people going all the way down, and the reason why is because when you go too far down, one, you use your knees to stabilize yourself, okay? Use your knees to stop the exercise, and then you start using your lower back when you have to come up, and that's something that you don't want to do, okay? So you want to keep it at 90-degree angle. That way you're working the quadriceps, you're working the glutes, and you're also engaging the hamstrings, the IT bends, so all those things are working. And again, the benefits of doing a squat, again, when you're lifting something, you're picking it up off the floor, you use your legs, right? You engage your core, and the squats get all those, as part of lifting something. When you're doing squat and you have a heavy load on your shoulders, okay, just keep in mind that you're also working your lower back a lot, okay? So there is no need for you to have this heavy bar on your shoulder blades, your trapezius, to do a squat. You can hold some dumbbells like Jackie's doing, or just hold the dumbbells on the side of your legs. So that's gonna focus mainly on your legs instead of having that heavy load on your upper back to put too much pressure on your spine. All right, so that's one thing to keep in mind. All right.
I love it.
So today was our Form X.
Squat Form X.
Again, if you need any exercise you want us to, kind of dissect it, tell you how to do it, feel free to reach out.
Because no injuries.
That's what it is.
We don't like injuries.
Yes, we don't want injuries. Again, we're doing the squat, strengthen the quads, the glutes, lower back, core, all that. So that's it.
STS.
Yes.